Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to have a conversation about love. More specifically, the 5 Love Languages by Chapman. For those of you who know your love languages, I applaud you for taking the time to learn them and know them. Or maybe you've heard them in conversation, but you're not quite sure what yours are. Or maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about and are interested in learning. The 5 Love Languages by Chapman are ways of communicating and connecting that resonate on a deeper and more meaningful level. Love languages are how we prioritize love, whether we consciously or unconsciously realize what's more or less important. It's easy to say we love ourselves and we love our partner, but do you know how your partner needs to be loved? Do you know how you need to be loved? In my life experience, I had no idea what I needed in order to feel safe and accepted and acknowledged and seen in my relationships and the relationship with myself. I had to do the work to understand my own needs and how I need to be loved in order to receive love. Chapman's 5 love languages are words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Now you may say, wait, I like to be told nice things. I like to be hugged. I like to receive gifts. I like to spend quality time with my partner. I like it when my partner does things for me. Now, if this rings to be true, I suggest you take some time and learn about the 5 love languages and list them in order from 1 to 5, 1 being the most important and 5 being the least important, and figure out your top 2 or 3. It's also important to note that the way our parents did or did not love us will take effect as to which love languages might top your list. So let's get started. Words of affirmation is the first love language. Some of us like to be complimented or acknowledged by being told what we're doing right. We want to be appreciated through encouraging verbal affirmations. These words should be specific and genuine and truthful. Is there intention behind the action? Does it mean the same if you say I love you to your partner because they're words of affirmation versus I'm proud of your growth as a person, or I really appreciate when you tell me how you feel? There's intention behind the action, not just saying it. Words can take many forms. Words of affirmation can be a text or a handwritten note. It can be spoken. It can be a voice memo. It could even be a phone call. It's about what is being said to show your partner gratitude, appreciation, and acknowledgement of what they are doing right. I didn't grow up with encouraging words because I know my parents weren't raised being complimented on what they were doing right or given words of encouragement. But through my own healing and inner work, I changed my inner dialogue and found I had to learn how to encourage myself, tell myself positive affirmations on a daily basis. But don't get me wrong, I love to be told and acknowledged that I am doing a good job. Is physical touch. Now, research has shown that babies who were held and embraced and kissed go on to live a healthier emotional life versus those babies who were left for prolonged periods of times without physical touch. If your primary love language is physical touch, you may feel unloved without it. And with it, you may feel so secure in the love of your partner. I know for me personally, I need physical touch to feel a deeper, more meaningful connection to my partner. Hugging, kissing, holding hands, sexual intercourse, all of those are ways of communicating love to our partner. It is said that physical touch can make or break a relationship. Think about giving someone a kiss or slapping someone in the face. You don't need to communicate any words to know the difference between those. Physical touch can also take many forms. Not all touches are created equal. Something as simple like an affirming touch of the arm during a conversation, or hugging your partner before they leave and when they return. These can speak volumes. Growing up, my parents didn't show affection. I came to understand that that was due to their parents not showing them affection. I don't have a lot of memories of this, but when I was a baby, for the first 3 months of my life, I lived with a foster family. And I wasn't shown affection like newborns needed. So I also learned that my parents believed in the let them cry themselves to sleep form of parenting. And I believe I just wanted to be held and given affection. Number 3 is receiving gifts. And personally, this is the very last number 5 on my list. A visual symbol of love and actually securing the gift and giving it as an expression of love. If your partner's primary love language is receiving gifts, for the most part, whatever you give them, it will be received as an expression of love. Some of us might need to get over the part about spending the money and look at the spending of money as an investment into your relationship. Or an example of an intangible gift is being present when our partner really needs us. Maybe that means you are a +1 to one of their friends' weddings, or maybe you accompany them to their company party. The gift of being present may mean far more than any material gift. Giving your partner gifts doesn't need to be over the top and extravagant. Maybe it's flowers. Maybe it's a book they mentioned during a conversation. Maybe it's a mug because your partner loves to drink tea every morning. It's about the intention behind the gift, the intention of, I thought of you when I saw this, so I got it for you. And like I said, receiving gifts is number 5 on my list because I grew up with a parent who used gifts as a sign of their love. And they still use gifts during the holidays to show their love. And sometimes I struggle with accepting the gifts because the way I need to be loved is through quality time. And my top love language is quality time. This means giving someone your undivided attention, eye contact, no Netflix, no devices. It could be sitting and talking to each other. Maybe going for a walk, just the two of you. Or maybe you're going out to eat and you are looking at each other and engaging. How many times have you seen couples or families out to eat and they're just looking down at their phone, or they're just like looking around and they're not actually spending that quality time with the people they're with? Let's be real. Time is the most precious commodity that you can never get back. So how are you spending it? Focused attention is the key ingredient to quality time, along with quality conversation. Sharing experience, thoughts, feelings, desires in a safe space with your partner. Words of affirmation focus on what is being said versus quality conversation focus on what is being heard. Asking genuine questions in order to understand your partner's thoughts, feelings, desires. Wanting to know them. In order to have quality conversations, it must require self-revelation. Digging up parts of you that maybe you didn't even know existed. And let's be real, this is not easy for most of us because we did not grow up in households who encouraged expression of feelings, but probably repressing and squashing them. By the time I was an adult, I didn't know how to express my feelings, my thoughts, and my desires in a healthy way because I was so detached from my emotional body. But through self-awareness and creating a safe space inside of me, I was able to unlearn to relearn how to express my feelings, my thoughts, my desires with clarity and in a healthy form of expression. Acts of service. These are the things you know your partner would like you to do. You are expressing your love by doing things for them. You are pleasing them by being of service. It can be things like bringing in the garbage cans at the end of the day, cooking breakfast, making sure their car has gas. Maybe it's making breakfast or cleaning the house. Maybe it's walking the dog, or maybe it's even just paying the bills. These require thought, effort, energy, planning, and time. As long as they are done with the intention of wanting to do them, not that you have to do them. Acts of service usually will require minimal time, but can show your partner you really care and thought about them. When I was growing up, my parents modeled acts of service as the primary love language. I grew up thinking that the only way someone would love me is if I did something for them. For a long time, I didn't understand why I felt resentment towards my past partners for not pulling their weight, but as I did the inner work and dug deep, I learned I was mirroring what my parents had in their relationship and how they showed each other love, and bringing that into my own relationships. As an adult, I came to realize that being self-sufficient gives me a form of empowerment. And I didn't need someone to pay my bills or clean my space. I can do those things myself. And honestly, I have like my own ways of doing things. So it just makes more sense for me to do it. I don't blame my parents for any of this because it comes back to knowing that they are people too, and that they have their own trauma. They have their own conditioned beliefs. They have their own behaviors. They were raised a certain way by their parents. And so when you are raised a certain way, you raise your children the same way because you don't know any difference. So let's recap the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. Words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Now really take some time and figure out what you need in order to feel loved. Because once you learn how you need to be loved, you'll be able to better understand how to properly love your partner. or any other relationships that you have. I know in my past relationships, I was always trying to love my partners the way that I thought I needed to be loved. But reflecting back, I had no idea how I needed to be loved because I was only mirroring what I had been modeled by my parents growing up. Most of the time, we don't have the same love languages as our partners, and by knowing our own love languages, it will save so much time, effort, energy, maybe money, trying to love our partners the way that they need to be loved. Relationships, romantic or not, always comes down to communication. How are you communicating, whether it's through body language or actual words? You know, as a 30-something and who just started dating again, this has really changed how I am able to, one, set boundaries for myself and also know how I need to be loved. When I started dating this guy, one of the first questions I asked was, what are your love languages? And ironic enough, we have the same ones, but they're not in the same order. So I think for the two of us, it has been, I can't speak for him, but I know for me, it has been so different this time around. So I hope that this has been informative, or maybe you already knew your love languages and maybe learned a little something more about yourself. At any rate, I would love it if you liked, hit subscribe, share this video with someone you know who maybe needs to learn their love languages, or maybe someone who knows about them but doesn't really know what their top ones are. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful that you stopped by in my corner of the universe. I will link this down below, and I will see you next Thursday.